No one can make an intelligent decision without being properly informed. This is why this world wants to control the media. This is why media hype can take you up, take you down. So you don't know anymore who's really good, because the media can make a wicked man look good and make a good man look evil. That is why. Until the dawn, I can't quit. I'm like Saddam, keeping my eye on Clinton, watching each movie he makes. Cause every slither he takes sort of reminds.
Tongue in Arabic, language of our ancestors of Assalamu alaikum. This means peace be unto you, and the proper response is wa alaikum salam, which is a prayer returning the greetings of peace to all of us. So I want to welcome you all. It looks like everybody here is family. Is that right?
That's right.
Yep. Well, thank you all for coming out today, because you could have been doing anything else.
That's right.
You didn't have to be here today, so I'm glad that you came. Now, I'm not the primary speaker. Our primary speaker is student minister, brother student minister Herman, and he will be talking about how to do for self. But I just wanted to come up here and say a few words before he comes up. And I want to start with, how's everybody fasting today? How's your fasting going?
Praise be to God.
All right, so there are some fasting people. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, well, you know, so it's customary that as believers, we fast once a month. It is prescribed for us to fast once a month, and it's also a good thing for us to fast. We do a national fast at the first Thursday, after the dinner of the first Thursday of every month, and we go for 3 days. And so it's a good thing, because right now what they're doing to us, they're putting stuff in our foods. Nothing is pure anymore. You can't even watch TV and it be pure. Everything on TV is so corrupt. You know, you just can't focus. And so, you know, fasting is not really a challenge to me. In fact, I thought we were fasting last week, and I had already prepared to fast, and then I found out it was this week. So, but what I found out is that when you fast, you can't just abstain from food. There's a whole process that you need to also prepare your mind for the fast. And so what happened was, I was ready to fast because it's easy for me to go without food, but it's hard sometimes if you don't prepare for yourself, you know, your mind. You know, I have this ritual that I do. I make sure my house is clean. I make sure I get everything together. But anyway, I went ahead and started the fast. It was easy for me, but what I didn't do was I didn't properly hydrate. So when you do that, it has, you know, an effect on the fast. It messes with your thought process, it messes with your mind, it messes with your thinking, and so it caused me to get a really bad migraine. And so, you know, also I was up late at night, and I was, you know, studying, and I was sleep deprived. So that also affected my fast. But what I did is I said, okay, let me go ahead and hydrate. And I didn't break the fast itself, but I did start drinking a little bit of juice or something to stabilize myself, to get on with this fast. But it made me think about everything that we have here in Islam has a mathematical procedure of why we do what we do.
That's right.
We can't just fast without protecting our brains. You know, you have to cover yourself. And then in these times right now, we're living in the day of judgment. It's so easy for your mind to go to the left. So I could have said, okay, I'm just not gonna fast, you know. And then sometimes you can do that if you need to, if you're sick. But I turned it into a liquid fast, you know, to make sure that, you know, I could stay on the fast, because I wanted to be gentle with myself, because Allah knows our heart.
That's right.
You know, and so when we get these instructions, because we have some serious instructions coming with this day of judgment, we need to follow the criterion.
Right.
And that means protecting our mind. So if we don't protect our mind, we're not gonna have peace.
Come on.
Okay, we're not gonna get justice. And we've gotten some very important instructions these days. So what is justice? Justice is a prerequisite for peace.
Come on.
So many of us may feel like, feel a lack of peace due to the uncertainty of today's world. But today is a new day, y'all. It's a new day.
That's right.
Okay, so we shouldn't be in fear. I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. The Bible reads at John 14:1, do not let your hearts be troubled. Right. Believe in God and believe also in me. Okay, in the Mathematics of the Mind by Minister Nuri Muhammad, he writes, the real weapon of a man or a woman of God is their believing mind. Do we truly believe what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is giving to us?
Come on.
He has a criterion. So this is critical. This is a critical time to protect our minds as believers, because everything that is coming at us all at once. I mean, we were just discussing right before the lecture about how the politics is like really sport and play. It's all for fun. It's not real. Nothing is real. When you watch if you go on social media, and I know we all go on social media, everybody's looking like they're all rich. I mean, they rented that house, or they're all in shape, and then you have a ton of filters. Nothing is real. The only thing real is Allah.
Right.
So in order for us to protect our minds, how can we do that? How can we do that? Does anybody know how we could do that? Well, we have to turn ourselves to Allah and nourish our minds with prayer, study, staying focused on our guiding light and our divine reminder, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we have to do the work we are called to do. I mean, I thank you all for coming today, because you didn't have to be here. Minister Ishmael made a comment this past week about how it was so easy when we were going through the pandemic. It was just easy to turn on go on to NOI and log on and just watch the lecture.
Right.
We didn't have to do anything. Right. So we'd be like, oh, praise be to Allah, praise be to Allah, Brother Minister Ishmael. We didn't have to do anything. It was easy, but now we got to come back. Right. And everybody's struggling to come back. But if you're not here, you're not feeding your mind. I don't care what you say. You could study all day, but if you can't implement what you're studying, then how is it going to work? Right. It's not going to work. So he's given us some instructions to come back, y'all. Follow the instructions and guidance of our leader and do the work to help us escape the gravitational pull of this world, which is declining. Right. And what is the work? What's the work, y'all? That's right. And it begins with coming to the mosque and feeding our minds, healing our spirits, and encourage more people to seek the truth.
Go ahead.
Okay?
That's right.
We need to seek and feed the truth. Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
I have a friend. He's a retired police officer from Detroit. He was on my mind. We haven't talked in 2 years, but he was on my mind. And the last time we talked, he had told me how he overcame cancer. And so I gave him a call, and as soon as I give him a call, he always says, Miss Muhammad, and he's all real high and energetic. Right. And so I started laughing because he's so high, and I was like, how you doing? I haven't spoke to you in 1,000 years. And so he goes on to tell me about this was a very trying year for him. Very trying. He told me how he lost his sister because of malpractice, and that his family is in a lawsuit. He told me he turned 50. He was happy about that. But he had some health issues that he was dealing with. And then he goes on to tell me that he's graduating, so he was super excited about that with his undergrad come June. But as he's telling me this story, and he goes in, there's a lot more detail in it. And I could, even though he was on the up and up, he was really enthusiastic about, as he told me the story. And I said, so when he got, done telling the story, I said, well, how are you really, brother? Right. You just lost your sister. How are you really?
Come on.
And he said, on my spiritual level, I'm very resolved. He said, because God blessed me that we can get to my sister before she died. So we were able to get all the information that we needed, to make her have a great send-off. He said, on my human level, he said, I'm very upset because they didn't They didn't listen to my sister. She had been back and forth to the hospital for 6 weeks, and they were just giving her medicine and not really dealing with the symptoms, and she died of something that had like a fungal, and it spread to her lungs, and she died instantly.
Right.
You know, and that just goes to show that they don't care about us.
Right.
They don't care about us. She had been going back and forth for 6 weeks. So he said on that level, he said, yeah, that bothers me. He said, but at the end of the day, he said, we all have trials and tribulations. It's a part of life.
Right.
And I said, yes, sir. So I went to go ahead and, he asked where I was going. I told him what I was going through. And I said, hey, when you get a minute, because I was just on the up and up that he was handling this so well. And I said, well, say a prayer for me. Because he was like, I can do that. He said, in fact, let's do that right now. So he said this prayer. I ain't gonna tell you, I ain't gonna go intimate because it just blew me away. But he prayed this prayer as if it was already happening, like I was in it. And when I got off the phone with him, I felt so inspired. And it just made me think this is how we as believers should cover one another.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We should be protecting each other with our minds, with our love, with our nurturing. And he did not hesitate. He said, I'm not going to get off the phone. We could pray right now. And I just was blown away with that.
Go ahead.
And it made me think, when I was out of the mosque for about 6 years, 5 or 6. When Sister Mary came in, I didn't know she was the sister in charge.
Come on.
Sister Mary called me every week for a year.
Wow.
I don't know why she chose me, but she called all the sisters. I didn't know that sister. And then finally I had a conversation. I told her what was going on. She said, sister, just come back on Sundays. Just come back on Sundays.
Right.
I said, all right, man, but I ain't putting on this garment unless I submit. I made a conscious decision that I will not put on this garment and disrespect it unless I'm real about what I say I believe in.
Go ahead, sis.
And so I came back and she gave me lots and lots of love. And this is how we need to be with one another.
Right.
This brother didn't have no animosity with what was going on. And if we keep our eye on our leader, teacher, and guide, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we shouldn't have no grief and anxiety.
Right.
Okay, he gave us a prayer. A prayer to do. He said this at Savior's Day. Seek refuge in Allah. Say that prayer 9 times a day. Okay? 9 times a day. And he didn't have any judgments or interpretation around his sister's death, which could have caused him bitterness and doubt. And a lot of us are feeling a lot of bitterness and doubt and dissatisfaction. But if you come to the mosque, you feed your mind, you pray and do the work, you can overcome that. Right. Because the real weapon of man or woman of God is their believing mind. Okay? So in the surah, in the Quran, Surah 73:8 reminds us, and remember the name of thy Lord and devote thyself to him with the complete devotion. Complete. What is complete? Absolute, total. We have to be absolutely submissive to do the will of Allah. And this is how we can move forward, avoiding the trap of blindly wandering on in these challenging times, because it's going to get dark, y'all. It's going to get dark. In the book of Malachi, it speaks of the great and dreadful day. Well, let's talk about this real quick, and then I'm going to bring on our beloved minister. You got to realize it was a great and dreadful day in the Great Depression, but not everybody had a dreadful day. Right. Some people it was great.
That's right.
Some people it was dreadful. But which part and which side are you going to be on if you're not protecting your mind?
Go ahead.
Which means we can experience heaven in the midst of hell and still have peace and get our justice. But to achieve this, we must first commit ourselves to justice, not only by striving to act with fairness and integrity, but by protecting our minds and spirits with prayer and righteous action. By covering ourselves in prayer and protecting our minds and working by faith and not by sight, because our leader and teacher guide with his Christ and the great Mahdi, Allah in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, is going to get us to the other side.
That's right. Go ahead.
So we can do this, and we can have peace anchored in our faith and perseverance, even during these challenging times. And now I want to go ahead and bring on our beautiful beloved brother, who's going to expound on that, because he's going to talk about do for self, which is going to be a part of this peace in heaven that we're going to get in these dreadful times. Brother student minister, he is a husband of 32 years, a father, a grandfather. Our beloved minister, he's also an author, y'all. Did y'all know he's an author?
Yes, ma'am.
Have y'all read the book? You have? Well, are you rich yet? Are you rich yet? He's also a podcaster. He has his weekly podcast. Was it 4 days a week? 4 days. So he's also on Facebook. But here he's going to give us some guidance of his criterion of do for self. Please open your ears and your hearts. And I want to bring on our beautiful minister, our student minister, student minister Herman Muhammad. Thank you for listening. I greet you as I peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Let's keep it going for Sister Ladios Muhammad. All praises be to Allah. First, let us start by saying, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is in fact his messenger. As students of religion, as citizens on this wonderful planet that we call Earth, we thank Allah excuse me, for each of his prophets and great ones, sages. We thank him for all of the scriptures that they brought. So we thank Allah for Moses and Abraham and Aaron and the Israelite prophets and the divine revelation of the Torah or the Old Testament. We thank Allah for Jesus and his apostles in the divine revelation of the Injil, the Gospel, the New Testament. We thank Allah for Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah of 1400 years ago and the divine revelation of the Holy Quran. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of these worthy servants of his. As students of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we can never thank Allah enough for his divine intervention in our affairs. And we have to put emphasis on our affairs because God came to us, the lost and found black man, lost here in America, in the divine person of Master Fard Muhammad, yes, the great Mahdi to whom praise is due forever. Upon his coming to us, he found one from amongst us, a Georgia-born black man who only went to the 4th grade of school, but who has become, in my humble estimation, the most powerful human being to ever walk the planet besides God himself, and that is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Yes, that's right. I would be remiss in my duty, though, if I did not thank Allah for the individual, the human being, the beautiful man that I'm striving to represent to you today. He is the leader in the absence of the leader, the teacher in the absence of the teacher, the guide in the absence of the guide. He is the Messiah in our midst. He is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is in their names that we greet you in the greeting words of peace. Of course, we say it in the Arabic language because English is not our original language, right? Yes, sir. We say Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. Now, to our guests, thank you so very much for coming. Thank the brothers or the sisters who invited you. I want to state our intention. You know, when we open up for prayer in the morning, before we make our prayer, we state our intention, right? What we desire to do in the name of Allah. So this morning, we're not here to make mockery or to entertain. We're here to enlighten, to elevate, to inspire, to teach you something that hopefully you didn't know, right? Our goal is for Allah to use us to give you something that can help you in your everyday life.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
If we do that, man, all praise is due to Allah. If we're unsuccessful, then all that blame belongs to me, and I'll take it. Before we get to our subject, just a little bit of housekeeping. For all things Nation of Islam, go to www.noi.org. To get the latest and the greatest, the biggest and the baddest, the blackest and the boldest independent news you can use, go to finalcalldigital.com and subscribe. And for all things NOI Denver, go to noidenver.org. And while you're there on any of these sites, make sure that you donate to the cause, because we don't receive no government money. Is that right? All praise is due to Allah. Our subject this morning, I wanted to talk a little bit about doing for self.
That's right.
And the reason being is because there's a lot going on.
That's right.
With there was an election last week, right? And we got a new president. All praise is due to Allah. We got a new president. No matter what you think of him, all praise is due to Allah. And a lot of our people, especially our women folk, they are hot.
Yeah, they are.
There they are.
They tied their aspirations. They tied their dreams.
One thing.
They tied, and I don't even know why, all of this to the election of our sister Kamala Harris. And, she didn't win. All praise is due to Allah.
That's right.
And so as a result, there's a lot of blame going on.
Yes, it is.
Right? There's a lot of blame going on as to whose fault it is, and they blaming black men, I don't know how the black man just get blamed for everything. But we'll take it, you know what I'm saying? We ain't tripping. But no matter who the candidates are, whether it be Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, no matter who wins the presidency, we have to know and understand,
That's right.
brothers and sisters,
Come on with it.
that this system don't work for us. It never has. We cannot tie ourselves to a benevolent white man or a benevolent black woman to do for us what we can do for ourselves.
That's right.
And so that's the reason for our subject this morning. Y'all gonna love this one. I work for myself.
Yes.
All praise is due to Allah. I work for myself. Now, this is not just a statement of Brother Herman saying, I work for myself, right? What I'm saying is that, and inshallah we'll prove this point, is that each and every one of us should have the mindset that, listen, I work for myself. Now, we have to get a really good understanding as to what that means.
Yes.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. This is how we're going to start. The black man must do something for self or suffer the consequences.
That's right. That's right.
The black man must do something for self or suffer the consequences. Now, how does that relate to the election?
Come on.
It relates because if we were doing something for ourselves, wouldn't matter who the president is.
That's right.
Facts, brother.
Not even a little bit.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Like I can't give a damn. If I control my own economic reality, what do I care about who the president is?
That's right.
That's right.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
To make the statement, I work for myself, and this is especially for the believers and the teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is to say that you are right in line with everything that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught.
That's right.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
First, let's clear some words.
Please.
What is yourself? In the Nation of Islam, we're taught that, man, myself is a righteous Muslim.
Yes.
Myself is a person who submits to the will of God.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Webster, he defines it a little bit differently, though. Self. I kind of like his definition, though. A person's essential being that distinguishes them from others, especially considered as the object of introspection or reflexive action.
That's deep.
Yourself distinguishes you from others. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us as well. Same man, same person, is that right?
Yes, sir.
That when we think of self, we can't just think of self. When we think of self, we're thinking of self and kind.
Yes.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, yes.
So when I say I work for myself, that means I work for myself
And others.
and kind. I am looking out for my interests, but I'm also looking out for yours.
Right, right.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
To think of self alone would be selfish. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
To only think of oneself would be selfish, but to think of others is to be selfless.
Yes.
But in order to achieve the goals that we need to achieve in this life, we can't just take ourselves. We got to think for the rest of our people as well. Are y'all all right?
Yes,
See, the concept of thinking only about oneself is a European concept.
Absolutely.
Being selfish.
Extremely selfish.
Yes.
They brought us here as an act of selfishness.
Yes.
Teach, Muhammad. Yes, sir.
They weren't thinking about the whole of humanity. The only thing they was thinking about was the bottom line. Is that right?
Yes.
They was thinking about how can we make our economy to grow to be the richest economy in the world, the envy of the world. I can tell y'all how to do it.
Get that God.
You get somebody who don't look like you, and you make them work for free.
Yeah.
For 4 centuries. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's going to make your pocketbook fat. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's
sir.
going to make you the most powerful nation in the world. Because you're just sitting on free money, man. You're sitting on the labor of others. You're sitting on the sweat, the blood, the tears
Teach, Muhammad.
of an entire people that you worked for 400 years.
That's right.
From can't see morning to can't see night. Y'all all right?
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
So we can't think like that in the way of doing for self.
That's right.
When we talk about doing for self, we have to think about the elevation of our people. We have to think about putting them into positions to where now they can succeed based upon the knowledge that we give them. Is that right? And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came to teach you and I a thorough knowledge of our own self.
That's right.
Y'all all right?
Yes,
sir.
So there was a point in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's development where he was having a conversation with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was telling him, guiding him on how to guide the nation, right? And he said, brother, when you think about the nation, you have to think for the whole.
That's right.
You have to think for the whole. And it wasn't just for the whole of the tiny budding nation of Islam, but the whole of 30 to 40 million black people here in America. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, in thinking for the whole, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in doing for self, does for the whole. He's the most selfless human being that you will ever meet. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The minister does everything with the people in mind.
Yeah.
In terms of doing for self, like his teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is actually a brilliant businessman.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Come on with it.
Brilliant businessman. A lot of people don't see that because they see him as the spiritual teacher,
What they supposed to see.
which they should.
Yeah.
But when you look at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's business acumen, it's unparalleled.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's a teacher.
We have pictures around Final Call Administration Building. We have the National Mosque on the wall. The minister's home in Chicago called the Palace that the minister stays in. There's property in Mexico. There's farmland in Georgia and Alabama, upstate New York, Michigan, the farm in Michigan. There's countless properties that the nation owns.
Yeah.
But when I say owns, I mean owns.
That's right.
They don't have no mortgage on them.
Right.
See, the minister's a brilliant real estate investor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
In the way of self. But again, when he's thinking about buying that farmland, it's to feed the whole of the nation.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all all right?
Yes.
Not just to take care of his family.
Yep.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir. It's the truth.
So the Holy Quran says this as well, because we're talking about doing for self.
Come on.
And I work for myself. They ask you, oh Muhammad, what they should spend. Say, whatever you spend of good is to be for parents and relatives and orphans and the needy and the traveler. And whatever you do of good, indeed, Allah is knowing of it. Now that's powerful. And you might say, what does that have to do for self? What does that have to do with doing for self? See, they were asking what they should do in the way of self. And Allah said, say whatever you spend of good is to be for parents and relatives and orphans and the needy and the traveler. And whatever you do of good, indeed Allah is knowing of it. Allah is saying to be charitable.
Yes.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's to do for self.
Wow.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Allah says that were it not for our prayers, He would not care for us. So your prayers are not for Him,
For you.
they're for you.
That's right.
That's right.
What you spend in the way of helping the needy, those who need more than what they have,
Yeah.
that's for you. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So understand that whatever you do in the cause of Allah is about the benefit of self.
All praise.
You're doing for self. You're working for self. It's not all about money. In fact,
No.
man, it's not about money at all.
That's right.
So when we talk about the election and what it signifies, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that if our President-elect Donald Trump was elected, and he said this way back in 2020,
That's right.
for one, that he would take well, he said this before, he said this in 2016, that he would take America to hell in a rocket ship.
That's what he said.
Yep, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
But what he said in 2020 was that Donald Trump would be your last American president.
That's right.
Are y'all all right?
Yes. Go ahead.
He said that. Now, what does that look like, man? Look, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we were in the fall of America. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that this was the end of the end.
Yeah.
We're in the end of this current way or system of things. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
And so we need to prepare for that.
Absolutely.
We ought not worry about what Donald Trump is going to do to us
Go ahead, brother.
That's right.
at all. We ought to be worried about what Allah is going to do to us.
Come with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have to begin, even though we should have been on this,
Sure. Come on with it.
we have to begin having the attitude of I work for myself. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Work. What's the definition of work?
What is the definition?
Work is activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. Activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that work could be summed up into a formula. W equals F times D. Work equals force times distance. Right? So the minister said, if we work on a certain thing, but after you work on it, you haven't gotten anywhere, then you haven't worked.
Go ahead, brother.
That's real.
He said, if I take this rostrum and I push on it 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 for hours, yet it don't move from this spot, even though I've exerted a whole lot of energy, I have not worked.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
So, whatever work that we do, we have to make some sort of progress.
Right.
Right? Or else we have not worked. If you go to work and you do a certain job, at the end of the week or 2 weeks or sometimes a month, you expect a little bit of compensation for the progress that you made during that particular period of time. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
If you don't get paid, it's like, wait a minute. It's a problem. But we are at the point where we need to be actively engaged in working for self and kind.
Right.
If this world is falling, and this world is absolutely falling, all indicators point to the death of America. Its economy is dying. I don't care what they say.
Yes, it is.
This is a fiat currency that these people use. See, they use a currency that's not backed by anything.
Right.
Yes, sir.
It's not backed by silver. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by oil. It's not backed by anything tangible. It's only backed by the word of the American government.
Right.
And I got to tell you that their word ain't good at all.
It really is not.
We have to be engaged in the work. See, going out and actively inviting our people to the mosque, to the meeting, is the work.
Right.
If a person comes and hears something that they never heard before and it moves them, I mean, just an inkling,
Right.
then you've done some work.
That's right, that's right.
If you go out and we feed the homeless, this is like we would do on the birth anniversary of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or the Holy Day of Atonement or whenever it is that we do it, that's work.
That's right.
Right? Because we're moving something in the minds of the people. They like, man, the Muslims is all right. You know, I might not be able to get with all that teaching that they got going over there. I might not be able to change my life and do what I see them doing, but man, them people, they all right. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So we have to be actively engaged in the work. We did last week. We were invited to a men's mental wellness, mental wellness, yeah, hellness is right. A men's mental wellness seminar or talk, a panel that we were on. And, you know, it was good work. It was good work hearing brothers who were able to express themselves in terms of what they were going through mentally, right? In front of a room full of people. Yeah, man. And listen, they said some stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's that work that was being done. In terms of the work that we must do. And if it be the will of Allah, I want to give us some tools to help us in the way of doing something for self, because that is the work that we have to be engaged in. The mosque in the Nation of Islam is not just about a teaching.
That's right.
Even though that's what we do here, it's not just about a teaching. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted the mosque, or the temples as he called them back in the day, to be a launching pad for our activity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A launching pad for our activity, which means that we would come in and get the teaching, but then we would go out and do some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So we have to have tools in our arsenal in order to do for self. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan are the ones who have supplied us with those tools. But the question is, do you know how to use them?
That's right. That is the question.
Because we got the tools. We really do. If you have the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you got the secret sauce. You got supreme wisdom. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You got the wisdom that transforms a Negro into being a God.
Right. That's right.
Y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
You got the tools that will take us, if we live in the projects, to living in a palace.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You just got to know how to work those tools, right? And we have a lesson in the supreme wisdom. Problem number 13.
Problem number 13.
After learning mathematics, which is Islam, and Islam is mathematics, it can be proven at no limit of time. Right?
Yes, sir.
And we're promised that after learning it, we'll have what? Luxury. Money. Good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. But you got to learn your mathematical theology. You got to learn how to use your mathematical theology in the proper term.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yeah.
And after learning it, you're going to have those things.
Yeah.
So money really shouldn't be an issue if we're working our mathematical theology.
That's right. I like that.
Luxury shouldn't be an issue. Y'all know what luxury is? Luxury is just an abundance.
Abundance of everything.
You hear what I'm saying? Where you have enough, you've got more than what you need. you can actually give some away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good homes, plural.
More than one.
That's more than one, last time I checked. And friendship in all walks of life.
That's powerful.
That's powerful, because and Brother Nuri had reminded us of this when he was here, that the friendship is singular, however the homes is plural. But the friendship in all walks of life is the number one friend that we should have in our life is Allah.
That's right.
So whatever friendship in all walks of life that we have, it's going to be because of our friendship that we have with God.
That's right.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and before him the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, are the teachers.
Yes, sir.
So the scripture asks the question, how could they know except they have a teacher? How could they have a teacher except he be sent, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
this is how it looks in the scripture. For there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek. For the same Lord over all is rich unto all that call upon him. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him who they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? Woo. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. So a teacher has to be sent. A preacher has to be sent, or else we're not going to hear it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I submit to you that those teachers are the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Right.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So, in terms of having a teacher, see, we have to get out of the mindset of we know everything.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We got to get out of that mindset. Man, can't nobody teach me nothing. I'm a grown ass man, dog. Right? I'm a grown woman. Can't nobody teach me nothing. That's the wrong attitude to have. You was raised and reared by the devil. Talking about you grown. You a grown fool. Is that right? So we have to get rid of the ego when it comes to submitting to a teaching. Ego, E-G-O. Is that right?
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Ego, when it comes to submitting to a teaching, when ego's there, that means that you edging God out.
Oh.
E-G-O. Edging God out. So once you edge God out, man, you don't have no hope. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. So, the teacher we're looking at is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And what, of course, did he teach us in the way of doing for self?
Come on with it.
He teaches us that in order to do for self, you first have to develop the will to do for self.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yes.
You have to develop the will to do for self. Many of us are content where we're at, working for our enemy. Many are content where we're at, coming to the mosque and just hearing the teaching and then going on. And it's like we playing dress up or we playing church. Is that right?
Right.
But in order to really do for self, you have to develop the will to do for self. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he gave us, he authored a series of study guides that are all about self.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Self-improvement is the basis for community development. In one of his study guides, The Will of God, Part 1, he says this: When Allah says be, this is an expression of His will. But it is more than an expression of His will, for when He says be, He arranges forces, angels, people, according to a plan to bring about the fruition of His will.
Wow.
In Arabic, He said, kun fayakun.
Yeah.
Be.
Yeah.
And it is, right? But in that, He is arranging forces, angels, and people.
That's deep. That's deep.
Now, so as we approach, this is such a powerful formula. As we approach doing something for self, we have to arrange forces, angels, and people to accomplish the goal that we want to accomplish.
Teach, Muhammad.
Are y'all hearing me? This is a beautiful, beautiful teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, Sister Latios has said that I wrote a book, which I have. And it's called How to Get Rich in the Barber Cosmetology Game Handbook. I'm a barber, been a barber for, geez Louise, going on 30 years. And on my own shop, I own the real estate that the shop is in.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. And I've been doing it for, like I said, a long time. So I know what I'm doing in terms of running this particular business. And this book, it says it's about getting rich in the barber cosmetology game, but it really applies to any entrepreneurial endeavor, right?
Yep.
So, because there are certain principles that I've learned, not from myself, but learning from being in business and really learning from studying the minister.
Yeah.
That I was able to parlay and put it in a book to where I could hand it or give it to someone and they could, if they apply the principles, inshallah, be successful, right?
Yes.
So one of the principles, of course, is to have a teacher. A lot of people say what's important is to have a mentor. I don't like that word mentor. I don't like the word mentor because it has a Greek origin. And mentors like to do little freaky stuff with their mentees that we not with. That's where it comes from, right?
Yes, sir.
So a teacher is what we need. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and before him, of course, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, are teachers who will teach us how to be successful, will teach us how to do something in the way of self. Yes. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
The first thing that you need to, or second thing after having a teacher, and you can put in whatever order you want, is whatever it is that you want to do, you should love doing it.
That's right. Number one. That's right.
That's number one.
You got it.
You should be passionate about whatever it is that you want to do in the way of self. Listen, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach us that each and every one of us are gifted. We're so gifted that the gift that we have, that we could perform, we can do it perfectly. Did y'all hear what I said?
Yes.
The gift that we have, the gift that Allah blessed us with, I don't know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Unless you tell me, unless you're doing it. You can do it perfectly. And the gift that you have, you would do it for free.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's a love. So in terms of business, whatever gift that you have, you want to parlay that particular gift into that, turn that into your business, or turn that into what it is that you want to do for yourself. And the idea behind it is there are 24 hours in the day. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds in a day. Right?
Yes, sir.
And 8 hours of it, a third of it, you're going to be working.
Yes, sir.
In this world.
That's right. Too much.
And really, if you really think about it, you really working half your day. When you talk about transportation to and from work, preparation for work, you gonna sleep for 6 to 8 hours of the day. So you working half your day. So the idea is, if you love it, if you have a passion for it, you will enjoy it. You will be happy doing what you're doing, and as a result, your clients or your customers, whoever it is that you're servicing or selling to, they're going to be happy too.
That's right.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
In terms of the time that we put into what it is that we do. I was talking to Robert Smith, billionaire. He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. He's the richest black man in America.
Lives here, right?
Yeah. He went to graduated from East High School.
Yeah, that's right.
And for a while, I haven't cut his hair in a while, but he was one of my clients. I used to cut his hair. But I asked him, just picking his brain, I said, brother, what advice would you give a person who's trying to go into business or trying to maintain a business or try to improve on their business? He said to me, listen, brother, he said, I work every day. I said, really? He said, yes, I work every day. And I'm like, wow. He said, understand though, I don't work all day, but I work every day.
Good teacher.
Even if he said he was in Europe going to one of them big old soccer tournaments, right? And he took time out to make a call. It was 5 minutes out of his day, but it was work towards his business.
Yeah.
Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. 100%.
He said, I know when to take off or to take a vacation, but every day, even if it's to check an email, I'm going to do something with regard to my business.
That's right. That's right.
Good teacher.
That's the type of drive that you have to have if you want to be on that particular level. Another thing that we have to do, and this is a few points in terms of business and doing something in the way of self, is whatever it is that we want to do, we have to do research and development.
That's right. Constant development.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes.
You have to do research. You have to study what it is that you want to do.
That's right.
Man, y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have to have knowledge about that particular product, about that particular service. You have to become an expert in it if you want to be successful.
Right.
If you don't, you can do whatever you want. Y'all all right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you have to gain that knowledge, that expertise in that particular area. You have to study intensely. You have to desire, of course, especially if you love it, you want to be the best at it, right? And in order to be the best, in order to separate yourself from the rest of the so-called competition, which, by the way, you don't have any.
That's right.
You have to do some research and development. You have to research your product, research your service, and then develop it to where it's the best that you can put out. Mm-hmm. Are y'all hearing me?
Yes. Yes.
Praise be to Allah. The other thing I want to say is You have to be legit.
That's right. Don't cut it.
You have to be legit.
Go ahead, brother.
What does that mean, Brother Herman? Legitimize yourself. Legitimize yourself by obtaining whatever licenses that you need,
Yep,
whatever credentials that you need.
that's right.
If you need to go to school and get a certification, get that.
That's right.
You can't do for self being a bootlegger.
That's
Yeah,
right.
go ahead, brother.
That is so right.
Y'all all right? You really can't. You have to gain. You have to get all of the licenses that you need to get. Or if you're selling water outside of the Pepsi Center after the Nuggets game or the Broncos, go downtown and get you a peddler's license.
Yeah.
That's right. Be legit.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to drive trucks, you gotta go and get you a CDL. Is that right, Brother Victor? In order to drive trucks in-state or over the road, you have to get a CDL.
Yes.
Whatever licenses or education that you need that's relevant to your business, if you want to become a personal trainer, you have to go and get certain certifications so that people will, once people start coming to you, you can tell them what those certifications are.
That's right.
The wisdom behind that is that the more education that you have, the more you could actually charge.
That's right.
You could be a shade tree mechanic, right? But you're not working on my car.
Go ahead, brother.
I was just keeping 100. When you go and get your car fixed, you want to know that because now these vehicles, they're like a rolling computer, man. So you can't just, grab some wrenches and pliers and get up under that hood no more.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta unplug the computer and be able to reprogram it back. You gotta get those certifications in order to do that.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
Y'all all right?
Yes.
Oh man, praise be to Allah. But all of these points and more, branding is a very important concept. Now, branding is about marketing one's own self.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to know this?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Teach me.
Branding is about marketing oneself. It's extremely important.
Exactly.
Part of the reason why Donald Trump won the election, believe it or not, and I'm not talking, we're not going to get into none of the whole politics of it, but I'm going to just tell y'all why this man won the election. In my view, was branding.
Yeah, shock factor.
Branding, name recognition.
That's right.
Trump is a gangster.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't own a casino and not be a gangster.
That's right.
You can't, Brother Ahmad.
right.
Straight up.
Right.
But his branding is extremely effective.
Right.
People were either this is what people were, the whole MAGA movement, right? People were either, now pay attention to what I'm saying. People were either saying they wanted Trump to win or they didn't want Trump to win. I'm going to say that again. I either want Trump to win or they didn't want Trump to win.
That's right. Go ahead.
They weren't saying, I want Trump to win or I want Kamala to win.
That's right. Her name is nowhere mentioned.
They said, I want Trump to win or I'm voting for Kamala because I don't want Trump to win.
Yeah.
The two the common denominators in both of those sentences are Trump and win.
I like that.
Did you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So the collective consciousness of the American people was wrapped up in the brand of Trump.
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all not realize what I'm saying. Seriously, just think about it.
Repetition.
Exactly. Trump is on the news everywhere. Everywhere. You hear a little bit of negative about Kamala Harris, that sinks in. But once you get to the polls, even those people was like, man, I'm just going to vote for Trump. Name recognition.
That's right.
Branding.
Name recognition.
You ride by
Name recognition.
McDonald's.
That in.
It's branding. Who eats that? If you know what it is, you're not gonna eat it. But but they got a line wrapped around the corner.
24 hours a day.
And it's not even food.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Teach my yes, sir.
Listen, brothers, I'm telling y'all, McDonald's is not food.
That's right.
McDonald's is chemistry.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You have to go to McDonald's University in order to own a McDonald's because they teach you how to make chemistry.
Yeah.
Get you addicted.
You hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to have, like I said, that certification a little bit earlier. You got to be certified to make that burger. They want that burger to come out the same way at every single McDonald's in the world.
That's right. That's right.
And it's not even food.
That's right.
Wow.
I did an experiment years ago, man, by some McDonald's fries, by
Happy Meal.
Nah, I bought like a little sausage and cheese McMuffin. And I sat them on my on top of my TV. I used to have one of them big old TVs in the old barbershop. One of the big old TVs with the booty in the back. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know the TV with the booty in the back, right? You know, they got flat screens now. They used to have a booty in the back. Old school, right? That was years ago. But I sat that joint on top of that TV, man, and left it there for a month.
And it still looked the same.
Still looked the exact same. Flies wouldn't even land on it.
That's crazy.
Like, it's not even food, but it's McDonald's name recognition, their branding.
Their brand. Yes, sir.
That makes people line up around the corner. Advertising works. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So in an environment like today's environment, where we all have access to social media, right? And with social media, we have, on Facebook, we have friends. Or if you have a business account, you have followers. On Instagram, you have followers. Look at the language. On X, formerly known as Twitter, you have followers. On TikTok, what's it on TikTok? I don't know what it is. Is it followers on TikTok? Yeah, it's followers on TikTok as well. But the idea is to get as many followers as you possibly can, right? So you have to separate yourself in some sort of way in order to get those followers. You have to have a brand.
Yeah.
If you don't have a brand, man, you just in the you get lost.
Come on.
You have to have a brand. You have to have a particular way that you are able to do things and able to communicate it, right? So in business, they say now, this didn't used to be years ago when we first started, that if you don't have an online presence,
That's right.
you don't have a presence.
That's right. That is a fact. Yes, sir.
You don't even exist
Right.
if you don't have an online presence,
That is-
because everybody is online. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan got I can't even tell you how many Twitter followers he got.
Right.
Even though they killed his account on numerous occasions, right?
Yeah.
He has a social media manager who makes sure that he has a Twitter, or formerly known as X, presence, because the minister knows.
Yes.
The minister knows that branding is extremely important.
Yeah.
Man, y'all all right?
Yes,
So you have to establish a social media presence. And it should be, you should focus on what it is, of course, again, that you do well.
Yeah.
Because if you do it well, if you do that thing perfectly, like I said, and like Allah has blessed you to do, people will recognize it.
Yeah.
That's how you begin to stand out and gain more and more followers.
Yeah.
But if you're all over the place, you see what I'm saying? If you're all over the place on social media, and you know, I can't even say what our social media profiles look like a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? If we live in let's just say an un-Islamic life,
Yes, sir.
on social media,
Talk about it.
and you all over the place, remember, here's what happens with social media as well. All social media works on a certain algorithm.
Yep.
Ooh, talk about that algorithm.
They work on a certain algorithm.
Yes, sir.
So social media is what the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA used to be. Did y'all hear what I said? Social media is now what the FBI, the CIA, the NSA
Yes, sir.
used to be.
Wow.
They used to have to, if they wanted to know about you, they used to have to surveil your phone. They used to have to send someone to follow you. They used to have to extend tremendous resources in order to gain a dossier on you, to know your likes, your dislikes, who your wife is, who your children are, who your friends are, who your associates are, what type of music you like. Listen to what I'm saying. What type of movies you like. Now, all of this we give to them voluntarily.
Yes, sir.
Teach, Muhammad. Yeah, go ahead.
That's real.
So now you don't have to, man, you don't have to, they don't have to do nothing.
Yep.
You just sign up. And every time you like something on Facebook,
Yes.
or Twitter, or Instagram, it's building a psychological dossier on you.
That's right.
And your photo.
So they know what you like, the photos. They know what type of men you like, sister. They know what type of women we like, brothers.
Ain't that sound right?
They know exactly what we like. You like a photo of Rihanna. Rihanna look good now. I can't front. Look, Rihanna look good. I cannot front. But I promise you, man, about 30 pictures of Rihanna appeared up on my feed.
Yeah.
After that one like, I'm like, damn. So they're psychologically profiling us.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So in terms of, and what they'll do is, whatever your algorithm shows or produces, now they'll mate your algorithm with other people's algorithms to where only certain people see your posts.
That's right.
Y'all hear what I'm saying? So it's extremely important as to what it is that we put or share on social media.
Yes.
Our brand, you know what I'm saying? You should, if I'm all about haircuts, man, post haircuts.
Right.
Post haircuts. Because everybody who's interested in seeing that now, all of a sudden, they'll start to see your stuff.
Yes, sir.
and your clientele will start to grow, right? If you're a martial artist, right, and you want to teach martial arts, man, post nothing but techniques and see what happens. People will start to see, like, dang, your stuff, everyone who's interested in those martial arts, your stuff gonna start to show up on their algorithm. You see what I'm saying? So it's any particular business that you're involved in, as long as you post in that vein, it'll start to show up in other people's algorithm who are interested in that particular thing. So branding, the way that we present ourselves is extremely important. Extremely. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
What else I got in here? All this stuff I got in the book. All praise is due to Allah. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. Hustle. Hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler, baby. Look, for real. Hustle means, I'm going to give you the definition so we don't think I'm just talking slick and slang. To proceed or work rapidly or energetically. To hustle, about putting a house in order, to push or force one's way, jostle or shove, to be aggressive, especially in business or other financial dealings. Slang, to earn one's living, this is the slang one, this is one we don't want you to do, by illicit or unethical means. No, we want to talk about to be aggressive, to jostle, to shove, right? All of these hustling is the way that you win. That's the way that you set yourself apart.
Come on.
That's real talk. That's real talk. That's the way that you set yourself apart. You gotta be a hustler.
That's
You have to be. I like to say that in order to go where no one else has gone, you have to be willing to do what no one else is willing to do.
Come on.
That's right.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
so you have to hustle. You got to move. You got to be very assertive and aggressive with your whatever it is that your presentation is. Not overly aggressive, but you can't be shy about what it is that you do.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're about, I always use cutting hair. Because that's what I do. But you have to, if people ask you, do you do this type of haircut, brother? I'm like, brother, I do any haircut.
There you go.
I look at them like they stupid. Like, why you asking me this dumb question? You know what I mean? Like, I almost make them feel like dang, I offended, brother. Because that air, even though it might seem like I'm being a little nasty with them, they're saying, dang. You're confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, confidence goes a long way.
Yes.
I use Donald Trump again. Hustler. Hustler. Confident.
You'll lie right in your face, man.
Confident. Confident. So much so to where people believe you.
Come on with that confidence. That's right.
Look at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The minister is confident in the truth that he teaches.
That's right.
I mean, without doubt, he don't care who it is, man. I watched an interview with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when Tim Russert interviewed him. Oh my God! And Tim Russert, you know these people get with these little gotcha questions. He said. Minister Farrakhan, I have your literature here, and in this literature you talk about this Jacob. Jacob is. He said you have this Jacob, and he's he made the white man, and the white man is the devil. Do you still subscribe to that teaching of Elijah Muhammad?
Yes, sir.
The minister said, I subscribe to everything that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches. Just confident. Just confident. You know what I'm saying? Then he went on to school him about, you know what I'm saying, about the grafting process and Mendel and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just smacked him upside his head, man. But it's that confidence, right, that you exude where, I'm telling you, the minister, man, is such a teacher. That confidence that we exude in the area of our expertise. Everyone wants to feel like they man know what he doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Think that over now.
Yeah.
Think that over. Even if it's even whatever product that you have. If it's a bean pie, man, it's the best bean pie in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you hand it off. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. How that pie, brother? Oh, brother, it's the best pie in the country, brother.
Yeah.
Plant that seed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Because if you don't believe it, they ain't gonna believe it.
Yep, that's right. Nobody else will.
Nobody else gonna believe it if you don't.
That's right.
So you have to exude that confidence. You have to have that hustle. You got to be willing to do and to push in a way that other people aren't willing to push.
That's right. That's right. Come on with it.
When I'm gonna say this story now, then I'm gonna wrap it up. But when I remember when I first started my barbershop, there's a couple of extremely valuable lessons that I learned. For one, money is always good to have, but it's not always necessary. Hustle can get you over where money can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The willingness to just push back a little bit. I remember when I was first negotiating my lease, I was right around the corner in Park Hill. And the barber who had the space before me, the owner of the building, what he did, it was really on some pimp type stuff, right? He had him to where he was paying him every week.
Oh, it's crazy.
And what he would do was he would say, he said, just give me a little bit of money every week based upon the clients that you have come through.
What?
Yeah.
That's robbery.
Because you can have a whole
Right?
clients. Yeah.
Yeah. Times a week.
So one of the barbers ran, he got a better situation, he ran off. This next one, he wait for you to build your clientele up though, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you might be, you slow at first, so it's like, oh, okay, just give me $150 a week. Right? This is in 96, 97. So
Used to do.
So you look up and I'm paying $150 a week. That's $600 a month.
Yeah.
That's a little pricey back then, right?
Yeah.
But as your clientele gets up, he's like, hey man, it's been a little busy over there. I think we need to go up to just like 200.
Oh, he's slick.
Oh, he's slick.
Is this in dollars?
So when I go to negotiate my lease, because brother was leaving, he was going to Detroit. I was just going to take over the shop, right? It was I had 1 or 2 chairs in the shop. Nothing else in there. Just a couple of chairs and a station and a sink. I went over there because dude was leaving the shop. He was leaving the space. It's going to be open.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go over there and talk to, his name was Parvez, a Pakistani Muslim.
Yep.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, night.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I go over and I say, Parvez, Chuck is leaving. I want to renegotiate. I want to take over the lease. And he's like, oh, brother, would that look perfect? So he just pays me a week. He just pays me $150 a week. I said, pays you $150 a week? I was like, what do you mean? He said, yeah, he just pays me $150 a week, and you know what I'm saying? And that's how I'm like, I said, you're mistaken what I'm saying. I understand, my mom has been a shop owner for years, right? He's like, what do you mean? I say, you're mistaken what I'm saying. I don't want to go into business with you. I want to lease your space. How much is the lease, right? But that was the hustler, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, man, I ain't going for the okie doke now. Don't treat me like I'm a fool. So he says, I negotiated to where it was like $450 a month. Which is cool, you know what I'm saying? I paid my public service and blah, 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 and I was good to go. And from that point, I was there until I got up out of there. Of course, leases increased by 3% annually, no matter what. And then whatever little things came out. But the moral of the story is I didn't fall for the okie doke. I had a little bit more hustle to me than that, you know what I'm saying? In terms of building the business, hustling. Being willing to do that which other people's wouldn't do. I had to set myself apart in terms of being a new barber. I had to get clientele, but as you all know, barbering is a very personal business.
Yes, it is.
You can open a shop, but if don't nobody know you there, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing happening. So what I would do was I would go out because I was working a job on top of opening the shop. But I'm also an active member of the FOI. Is that right, Brother Gerald? You know what I'm saying? Had to get that final call off. So, had to get that final call off. So, what I did was I took my final call. I took some incense. I took my business cards and flyers from my new shop. And I would go to the club at night.
That's where they at.
That's what it used to be.
That's where they at.
Who else need a haircut than a Negro going to the club?
Yeah.
Everybody need a haircut. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going, I'm handing out final call, and I'm clean. I got a suit on, brother. I got a fresh haircut. I cut hair. So that's how I gained clientele, just going to the club. And at the same time, I'm knocking out my final call at the same time.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So we would go from club to club, you know what I'm saying, for a couple of hours till I couldn't take it no more. They wear you out, brother. They wear you out. But and Mr. Pierre down that man, you go sit right outside Mr. Pierre's. He loved the Muslims out there. You know what I'm saying? So it was that willingness to hustle.
Come on.
That helped me to build the business. And now it's easier in a certain sense because you have social media, right? And if you make your social media presence, like I said, that to where it can get to that algorithm, off the chain. And let me tell y'all another secret in terms of
Branding.
advertising and branding. Nothing works better than social media. Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a radio ad. I don't care if it's a newspaper ad. I don't care if it's television. Nothing works better than social media. Because social media allows people in real time to share
Yes, sir.
what it is that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
And if people like you, yeah. I've never got more business than I got from Facebook. That's a fact. Once I built my business page for Facebook, I mean, people was just coming. They look and see, oh, you cut black hair? And they in there. You know what I'm saying? So those are just a few of the things that we can do in order to do for self. Just a few pointers. But we really need to understand that our work in doing for self, the most important part of it is what we do for our people.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's the most important part. All praise is due to Allah. And once we realize that, family, you know, it really don't matter what happens in these elections.
That's
because
right.
we're going to create our own realities.
Yeah.
If the mosque is a launching pad for our activities, that means it's a launching pad for the creation of a brand new nation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So as we go out, that's what our mindset has to be. It has to be, man, I work for myself.
Yes.
I work for myself. That has to be. That's why I titled it like that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to talk about the do for self aspect, but I really want it to be a positive affirmation.
Yes, I like that.
I work for myself. Every day, look in the mirror and say, brother, I work for myself.
Yeah.
I work for myself. I work for my people. I work for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All of that is working for yourself.
Right.
Because their interests are all about our self-interest. Is that right? Yes. So when we say that I work for myself, man, I don't give a damn about no Kamala Harris or no Donald Trump.
Right.
All praise is due to Allah. But that's it, family. Y'all know y'all can get the book if you don't have it. Assalamu alaikum. Praise be to Allah. Thanks for watching, you guys. We both love and appreciate you for doing so, but we need for you to take some action and do us 1 or 2 or maybe 3 more favors. And that is, go ahead and smash that like button. Share it if you really dig the video. And also subscribe. That way you'll get a bell ding, a notification every time we post something. And it also helps us with regards to the algorithm that, you know, your people like to run. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.